Miller here with Life Church in Washington, Pennsylvania, and I'm here with Jerry Niswander. Thanks for joining us, Jerry.
Oh, it's great to be here.
And I've asked Jerry to tell us a little bit about one of his new ventures with Revive Network. So Jerry, what's that all about?
Well, Revive Network kind of was birthed out of my relationship with Lance Wallnau. And
great.
I'm not sure if many of you have heard of Lance Wallnau, but the Seven Mountains. But anyways, it was birthed out of my relationship with him, wanting to bring the marketplace and the church together, because I feel like there is a gap there and it needs to be bridged. I was talking to you earlier over lunch, and we were having this conversation, and I really believe that we have many men and women that are in the workplace and they feel called to ministry. And their paradigm of being called to ministry is working within the four walls of the church.
Wow.
But they don't understand how that could possibly happen. And so what happens is they're kind of relegated, to the back row, and they sit there kind of semi-frustrated because they feel like they have this call, but yet they're stuck in the workplace.
Wow.
So what we want to do in Revive Network is we want to be able to give those individuals tools, handles. We want to release them to fulfill their calling that they feel like they have, and recognize that their workplace is their ministry. It is the platform where God has placed them. How do they now not leave their faith at the front door when they walk into their workplace, but they take their faith into their workplace and to begin to see that as the platform in which they can now minister however God opens the doors. So with Revive Network, that's what we're doing. We're going to have, there's really three legs to it. We are going to be doing conferences. We have a conference coming up June 1st and 2nd in Dallas. We'll be in Chicago in September and Colorado Springs in December. The second leg is we're starting an online marketplace and ministry school where we can give practical tools to help them understand how they can make a difference in the workplace. So it's going to be very practical, very helpful for them. First thing, the foundation of what we're going to be teaching them is, do you know who you are in Christ? Because if you don't know who you are,
so good.
We're not going to make a difference in any area of our life. From them, we're going to help them understand, what's their personality? How did God create them? From them, we'll just take them on and give them practical tools that will help them. So. And then once they go through the main module, then we have other modules centered around the seven mountains: government, education, arts and entertainment, business, church, family, etc. And so we want to empower people to be able to, whatever culture, whatever mountain they feel called to, that they can begin to have influence in that mountain, where they can begin to shape the culture of that mountain. And then the third thing is we're offering a network where it's a low introductory cost, $99 a year, but it becomes a network that you can join in, where we're going to give you an online email where there's going to be testimonials every month, where you can connect regionally with other people that maybe feel called to the government mountain from your region, your area, opportunities for you to get involved in mission works that can help the kingdom. So these are just different things that we're doing with Revive Network, and really excited about where's it going to go.
Oh, that sounds really amazing. I know it's going to really help a lot of people, and especially when you speak to, discipling nations. Like, clearly that can't happen within just the realm of the church on a Sunday morning or on a Wednesday night or whatever, Saturday night, whatever night you have it. So the importance of really getting people to think outside of ministry means you're behind a pulpit, or you're singing, you're leading a worship song.
Right. Let me give an interesting story.
Sure.
I was just flying back from Dallas last week, and I went back to the galley to use the restroom, and I'm standing there and I'm talking to one of the flight attendants, and she asked me, who do I think is going to win the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight? So I said, well, I want Pacquiao. She said, why? I said, because he's a believer, and I just want him to win. She's like, I knew you. She's like, I knew you were a believer. And I said, how did you know I was a believer? She's like, I just knew you were a believer. And So we got talking back there,
Sure.
and she's asking me what I do, and I'm asking what she does. You know, what you know. I knew she's a flight attendant, obviously, but you know, where she go to church and so forth. And she ended up telling me that her husband works for Mike Murdoch, you know,
Yeah,
based
sure.
out of Dallas,
Yeah.
and he's his right hand man and travels around.
Wow.
And I said, so why are you a flight attendant? She said, I'm a flight attendant so that I can have influence on every one of these people that come into this plane every day.
Wow, what a perspective.
And I'm like, that's amazing.
Yeah.
We have somebody that really doesn't need to go to work, but wants to go to work so that she can have an influence on the passengers that come onto her plane. This is the mindset that
Sure.
we've got to begin to have, is that we're just not going to work to get a paycheck.
Wow.
It's the primary reason. But we are going to work because it's our place of ministry that we can influence others for the kingdom.
That's how you disciple nations.
And that's how we begin to disciple
Yeah.
nations. You know,
Wow.
you eat an elephant one bite at a time, right?
That's good.
You
Yeah.
know, so we got to start somewhere. So how do we begin to, to give, people that we're coming in contact, coming to our conferences, handles, tools to grab a hold of, to help them understand you can make a difference. Esther saved a nation.
Yeah.
Joseph saved a nation. Right? Daniel came and influenced the king. Saved it. Impacted a nation.
So good.
We can make a difference. We just got to it's got to change our thinking and our perspective of why we're doing what we're doing.
Absolutely. That's really
So-
great. Now, how can people connect with you at Revive Network?
Yeah, they can go to revivenetwork.com.
Okay.
There's information on there. They can learn about who we are. We got a conference coming up there. If you're in the Dallas area, you're welcome to come. Love to have you.
So we got Dallas, Chicago, and Colorado Springs.
Colorado Springs.
All great places. So you guys check it out. Thank you again, Jerry. Thanks for joining us.
It's good to be here.
Yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.
My child, yours is the love I gave all I